And let me tell you about a story yesterday.
Let me tell you a little story about a man named John. Went to the pub just to get his drinking on. Then the talk of Biden started getting pretty mean. And here comes John, he's making a scene. No more Coors for $10 tips. Now the next thing you know, John has passed out on his ass. So he starts off complaining on his Saturday podcast. He said, "There's no way you can argue with me." Then he drank 100 beers and fell off the balcony. Right through the green screen. Into the Home Depot parking lot.
Brilliant. Yeah. Very, very well done. I was laughing pretty hard at that last night.
That's how you do it.
When I ran into that. All right. So what's going on with Stuttering John? He just put out an episode on Thursday, and he starts off by talking.
This was 1 year ago.
Talking about this Twitter feud that he's in. The thing that John has done, which is pretty annoying, is he's been trying to draw a lot of attention to the content of our show in order to get Patreon to take us down, in order for me to not have a livelihood from podcasting anymore. This is John's mission in life right now, which I would say is not a great use of someone's time, trying to knock somebody, actually get their lives ruined. But whatever, that's how John rolls. So he's going to tease that he can't wait to talk about this.
Later on, I'm going to address something. I had this kind of friendly argument with this author on Twitter, and it's time that I address the horseshit that's going on around me, but I will, but not until after the show.
There's not horse shit around you, there's flies.
Maybe in between Chip and John.
All right, so after his first guest, that's when we'll be very excitedly awaiting his response to this Twitter feud. Now, before we get into any of that, he had played this guy, Randy Rainbow, for his intro music. Have you ever seen Randy Rainbow? Super flamboyant guy, does like show-tuney things, but it's all like anti-Trump stuff, so John loves it. He eats it up, even though it's music that I don't think John would ever care about, but he thinks it's the funniest stuff. And apparently, Randy Rainbow, because John uses his content, gave him a nod, and John's very excited.
Mentions me in his book. Let's all thank Randy Rainbow for that wonderful song. He actually he mentions me in his book. I was truly touched. It's just like when Jim Norton thanked me in his book, and I was truly touched. Jim Norton is one of the greatest.
You haven't been touched by anyone in years.
Comedians, and one of the greatest people I've ever met. So always support Jim Norton. Go check into the Jim and Sam show anytime. He is a hell of a dude and a good friend of mine. And we've been friends for over 20 years.
When's the last time we talked to him, John? This really good friend of yours. Was it when I was on Chip's show?
But enough about Randy Rainbow.
3 years ago? Holy shit. Wow. Jim Norton, what a great guy. Because he thanked you in his book. So I have Jim's books.
Yeah.
So I thought I would find these acknowledgments.
Yes.
So he's got 2 pages of acknowledgments. He mentions over 100 people.
Yeah.
This is his first book. And this is the mention of John. And this is the last paragraph of the acknowledgments. It says, Jay Leno and the entire Tonight Show staff, especially Ross, Bob, and John. Doesn't even mention his last name.
Yeah.
And it's part of the Tonight Show because at that time, Jim Norton was working for The Tonight Show as a correspondent. All right, fast forward to his next book, and let's look at the acknowledgments.
Probably a lot more touching.
Well, in this book, there's a lot more acknowledgments. You can see there's 3 pages of acknowledgments here.
Wow.
And let's see. Oh, here we go. In the 30th paragraph, after 150 people have been already listed, it says, Jay Leno for always putting me on the couch with women who wouldn't dream of sleeping with me. Ross Mark, Bob Reed, John Melendez, and the entire Tonight Show staff. Thanks for being so good to me. So it really actually has nothing to do with John Melendez at all. He just happens to work at the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And it's funny because doesn't John take credit for...
Both times he mentioned him last.
For Jim Norton making it big because John put him on his Stuttering John comedy tour. No mention of that at all. And he has a whole list of all the comedians he's on shows with. A huge list of the comedians that he acknowledges. No mention of John there. And John is still holding on to that.
That's why I was touched. He didn't embarrass me.
Yeah, right. So basically, John's name is just John in one of these books, and he still thinks they're besties because of it. All right. So this is funny because John's talking about how he has a date later on in the day, which I can't wait to find out more about on the Saturday show if he's willing to talk about it. He sometimes is. He sometimes is willing to talk about what's going on with his dates.
Yeah, even when they tank, he talks about it, which is really strange.
Which is fun, yeah. So hopefully he knows where his boner pills are this time.
Oregano, got it.
And now let me ask the ladies, do you like with the beard or without the beard? Because I got a date tonight. So I was debating, should I shave or should I not?
Should I grow a beard?
Yeah, you're going to grow a beard.
I finally said, I asked a girl at the Copper Bucket yesterday. I said, should I shave? And she said, and she's a friend, she said, John, my ex-husband always had a beard. I never saw his face. Ladies don't like dating Santa Claus. So, no beard.
So you asked a woman who obviously has some psychological issues with her ex because she brought them immediately. And I think that John did that just to prove he has a neck.
And just, what if she said yes? You would grow a beard by tonight?
That's the first time I've seen
And
his
a
neck
razor.
in 3.5 years. He had to like pick up his whole chins and show like, see, there's a neck there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, you win. You got me there, John. Fair enough. So John's got a date. That's exciting. Okay, let's get into the meat and potato.
That's bullshit. It ain't got a date. I mean, he does not have a date.
Of this episode. Enough with the appetizers. The appetizers just make me more hungry. So John brings on his first guest. And John admits that he badgers people in order to get them on his show. And of course, he apologizes for that.
You back. As you know, I hate to sound like a pestering badger, but I badge you all the time.
Oh man, it's always nice, dude. I'm fucking with you. It's great to be here. Thanks.
No, I know, but I mean, some
Pestering, you're a festering something.
guess I have to just, once every 2 weeks I got to ask, just to keep it in their minds, because like yours, you are always doing great things, but you have a very busy life, so it's very easy to forget the little people like me.
Fishing for a compliment.
Oh, baby. No, it's good. It's good to hear your voice.
And not little.
No compliment at all. He's like, because I'm not as big a deal as you are, Chip Franklin. He's like, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
John is a little people.
He is some interviewer, man.
Isn't he? That's how he starts off the show, talking about how he's badgering him to come on and apologizing for that. And John goes, I hate badgering people, but I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, I continue to badger people. There was a funny screenshot somebody posted from his Twitter.
Yeah.
Julia Diane Dreyfus, is that her name?
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Thank you. She had mentioned something about how Republicans suck and it had nothing to do with anything other than, vote Democrat. And so, of course, he comes on there and he's like, come on my show. Because you're not going to get a big star like that on your show, John. You talk to 36 crazy people. Why would they want to talk to those people?
Yeah, and if she was going to do a podcast, she certainly wouldn't book it through a fucking tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially someone like her, she probably has like a publicist.
Yeah.
It's probably,
And they might
what?
actually vet the shows that they would let their celebrity appear on.
Yeah, that's also a pretty good point. All right. So John lets his guests do some name dropping here.
Oh, good.
But he also, in the middle of this, gets a donation. And he leaves this up on the screen for a very long time. He puts it up on the screen and leaves it up on the screen for a very long time.
Talking about Chappelle, and I knew Chappelle from the DC days. We did the same when he was a kid. So I'm working at was a place called Garvin's in Washington DC. It was one of the first comedy clubs outside New York City, And before that, though, there was a Fort Garvin's. There was this little teeny place that people would come down. It was called El Brookman's, and Seinfeld would drop by. Eddie Murphy, Piscopo. A lot of these guys were starting out.
Yeah, we get it. You're an old timer,
Yeah.
and you met a bunch of famous comedians over there. So, if you guys didn't see what the post was, so this guy Trump Sucks 26 sent $2.79 Canadian. And that is for the chemotherapy. All right. So, again, this is for that charity that John says, please donate to my PayPal so that I can give to this charity. Muttering Jay, my favorite Twitterer of all time.
Oh, God.
He posted something just today that said, in California, any individual or organization that solicits charitable funds is considered a charitable trustee. Under Government Code Section 12585, initial registration must be filed within 30 days of first receiving charitable assets. He's sure that Stuttering John is doing this. I'm sure he's filing with the government appropriately in order to receive these charitable assets from people.
Yeah, I would love to see all the accounting for this.
Yeah, me
He's saying,
too.
I'm collecting all this money to donate to chemotherapy. Are we going to see like a hospital bill or a GoFundMe? Are we going to see this?
Well, he did say, trust me, which would lead me to believe that we're not going to see any of this. That we just need to trust him, and that'll be fine. I'm not sure that we'll find out, I guess.
But even when you go to a charity show, they'll be like, hey, we raised $700 for whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like they're proud of it. It's a thing. I'm sure that we'll get that from him. I'm sure he'll be like, I raised.
Well, he should have a chart where he's like coloring it in with the marker, and he's trying to get trying to get to the goal or whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't know why you sound suspicious, though. I mean, what about the money that was raised for the D.C. trip? That was...
Yeah, that's right. Full accounting was shown for... Well, wait, no. Actually, no. He complained about it the whole time and actually
trip
wanted
was
more money.
Disaster. Yeah.
Well,
because the hotel was $400.
He forgot about that.
Raised money for 19 months leading up to that.
Right.
So...
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Almost got a spit take out of Carl.
I know.
Time might be more of the essence here.
How long is this grift going to go on for?
Seriously.
Until the next charity.
It's so funny because I have a video ready to go on YouTube. It's from the Pat Oates episode. We literally pointed out 3 laws that John was breaking on his show.
And there's a million shows out there that all ask for money. There's a million ways to ask for money that aren't illegal and fucking immoral and creepy and weird.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like,
go
you just ask your audience for money. It's fine. Like,
right. But if you want to do a charity, you can set up a GoFundMe. It's all taken care of for you.
Yeah, it's pretty easy nowadays. Yeah.
He's something else. All right. So now this guy Chip Franklin, who used to do comedy, and he knows Chappelle, and he knows all the greats, and I guess he was a radio broadcaster for a long time. I'm not familiar with Chip Franklin. Are you?
Never seen him before.
Yeah, I think he was big in D.C. or something. So he's going to go on about how Dave Chappelle said some very offensive things about trans people, and Chip did not enjoy this.
So this whole thing when he was, going down, making trans an issue and that whole deal, talking about the jokes, it bothered me because I always, I have my opinion about comedy that we should always punch up, not down, And so I was kind of hard on him, but not too hard because I know we all fuck up and say things. If you went back and pulled everything I'd ever said,
Oh, that's what I'm going to address that because I get these people who try and, say that I'm a certain way because 30 years ago I was on the Howard Stern show. And
well, I got a Stern story too for you along those same lines. Let me finish this though. So anyway,
Chip's a professional broadcaster. Like, shut up, dummy. You asked me a question, I'm answering it. This isn't about you. John just goes, oh, actually, now that you brought that up, I'm going to talk about me. No. Don't talk about you, John.
Yeah.
You have a guest on. You're interviewing your guest.
I'm warming up to Chip right now.
Yeah, me too. This isn't Tony Michaels. All right? He's not going to sit there and listen to you fucking talk about your problems. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh, that reminds me of...
Also, I love this idea that you're only allowed to punch up in comedy. Well, who determines what punching up is? How do you determine that?
Stuttering John.
Stuttering John does? Okay.
It's the guy on the bottom.
Yeah, I guess I got to figure out what the fucking rules are. These assholes, they have no idea what comedy is if they explain there's rules to comedy. You can be funny in this way and this way, but not that way or that way. Okay, I get it. So
Well, that's how these guys got so successful.
correct. This is why these two are doing a show on the internet on a Thursday afternoon. And this is funny because Chip is now going to explain to us why it's okay when they call out people's physical flaws, even though you shouldn't be body shaming, as we all know. But it's okay when that person disagrees with you politically.
All right, if you're a side sleeper, you're still out of luck. Your hips are bent at about 90 degrees, maybe a little bit less, and your shoulder is being tightened down here all night because you likely have it over your pillow. You've got the other arm here coming across you, building up some tightness here along the pecs. You're going to be...
This woman that defeated Cheney, and I was talking about how crazy she looks, and they're like, why do you have to body shame her? I'm like, fuck you. She's a horrible person. She's hurting. She wants to hurt people. And
you following this, Crouch? He can say that because she's a bad person. You're allowed to say shitty things about bad guys. And he's determined that's a bad guy, so of course he can do that.
Makes sense.
Makes perfect sense, right? So we can't say that Stuttering John looks like the big brother from Weird Science after they turn him into a blob, because John's on the right side of things. He's a good guy.
Yeah. If he wasn't, though, we could say he looks like a melted candle.
Correct. Yeah. If he were a Republican, the shit that I would say about Grandma Melendez here, it doesn't even get me started, but we can't, because he's on the right side of the spectrum. All right. This is great because now John goes on about how he used to say bad things about people, but he doesn't anymore.
so no, that's not body shaming, right? Body shaming, so it's a paradoxical gray area that we all have to navigate, and it's not easy.
I'll tell you, Chip, this was the perfect story, because I was going to address some things like, a little later on in the show about people like calling me out for things that we did in the Howard Stern show. It was 30 years ago. I
love he goes, people are calling me out. Me! Can you believe it? Yeah. I mean, all I am is the biggest hypocrite ever. They're calling me out? What the fuck?
And his guest is literally grimacing. He looks like he's in pain. He's like, I can't fucking believe I'm listening to you talk.
Yeah, you're going to try and shoehorn this in again.
Yeah.
Again.
Howard used to use the R word for the mentally challenged all the time.
For you.
He called me that a billion times.
Exactly.
But, that was a different world. Not until 2010 did Obama make it unacceptable when he signed it out of any bill.
Did you guys know that President Barack Obama in 2010 made it unacceptable to say the word retard? Did you know that?
I got the letter. I had to change all my sheet music at home. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he made an exception for podcasts.
Yeah. These people actually think politicians determine what words we can use. That's fucking scary. Yeah. That's how dumb these people are. These people could be ruled so easily by a dictator. They're like, okay, boss, you're the boss. Whatever you say. And I just want to point out that my very good friend, Stut Joe's Fair Use Bologna Factory, went ahead and put together a compilation of John using the R word post-2010. Even after Barack Obama told us we're not allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah.
I thought John got the memo.
Retarded, rah, retard. What is a manga?
Great job, John. Once again, proving that you're a fucking idiot. Calling people out for shit that you do all the time.
He's got a good sense of rhythm, though.
A retardedly good sense of rhythm.
All right, you guys want to hear John try to say the name Sarah Silverman?
Yes.
All right, this will be fun.
Yeah.
But that's the hard thing, Chip, is that, like, a lot of these comics, I saw a thing that someone was calling out Sarah Silverman for something she said, and she has to say, "Hey, different times then," and I apologize for it.
She's brilliant, though. I mean, I
know.
yeah, she's real brilliant. That's Sarah Silverman. Do these people realize it's because they're the ones policing other people's speech is why they get pointed out for being hypocrites? Yeah, but you say that shit. Yeah, but it's different now. Okay. Do you think that we've ended this? Like, we have our complete list of unacceptable words now? And can you give me the final list so that I know? So that in 2030, I won't say anything from 2022 that'll come back to me? This is what's so dumb about these people, is they think that, like, yeah, but she apologized for that. She's moved on. Yeah, but you guys are idiots. The bar keeps moving. The goalpost keeps moving on us. It just keeps changing. There's no final list. Sarah Silverman's brilliant. What do you think about that, Crush?
Good.
All right.
I pulled up her podcast feed, and the most recent was a best of, and I'm like, best of Sarah Silverman podcast. What could that even possibly mean?
I would love to hear that. Okay, so now John describes why he can make jokes that ridicule others.
I mean, but she also self-deprecates. She takes.
Same on me.
John thinks he's a self-deprecating comic.
Did he just say, same as me?
Yeah, I'm also self-deprecating.
I'm just like Sarah Silverman.
Yep.
His whole policy in life is it's different when I do it.
Of course. It's great. All right, last clip I have from Stuttering John. So his second guest on this program was John Fugelsang. And
He didn't say self-defecating, you shithead.
John is...
John?
I know, can you believe it?
Wow.
His name is my name too.
Yeah.
So this is great because John, who's on the East Coast, will be making a trip out to L.A.
I'll be out in LA on vacation soon. I'm really ready for it. And thanks for doing such a good show. And thank you. You could do a fucking bro fest here and just be a pig, but you're not. You're actually pissing off dude bros and caring about marginalized people. And what you're doing is really moral and it's really inspiring. And you inspire me. It's really nice to see you.
Oh, thanks, John. And when you're in LA, please, we'll grab a beer or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, John, but it's good to be on your show.
Both of his guests.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. He didn't even smile afterwards. Just goes, I'm not going to do that, John. I want nothing to do with being in the same room as you, okay?
Oh, my God.
Isn't that hilarious?
He could have been saying, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I love this guy is running a fucking literal cancer scam. He's scamming people.
Yep.
And this guy, what you're doing is very moral. It's very correct and very right.
Yeah, no shit.
Come have a beer with me. I'm never going to do that. Stay away from me.
The way he answered that, too, was like, shut him down. Like, never ask me again.
Instantly. That was.
And I know you have my cell number. Do not text me while I'm in LA. I will not answer it. All right? I'll be surprised if that guy's ever on this show again. That's just insane.
I'm surprised if any of these people are. They look fucking miserable.
They look miserable. They've never been on a show like this before. They're like, what, you're talking about you now? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm on your show, idiot.
And he has those, like, trigger words. If someone brings up, someone was mean to me on the internet. Oh, really? Because that happens to me all the time. I mean, it just starts him on his 20-minute thing about the trolls and whatever.
We could put together a giant compilation of how do you deal with your trolls? Like, they're like, what? What do you mean? I mean, I've seen a negative comment on YouTube before, but... All right, I got to get Vic in here if she is ready. Victoria.
Hello.
Vic is back, and you're in your new house now, across from the strip club. How's the club?
It's pretty good.
It's
still top, like it's not topless, which is really weird.
Oh, that's not a strip club.
There's no tits.
That's a keeping your clothes on club. That's what that is.
Unless you get a lap dance, that's when they take their tops off. But until then, like, it's just tassels, pretty much.
Oh, that's how they get you.
Wait, you mean those girls are only going to show their boobs for money?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And your top has too many buttons.
Yeah. I thought it was for the love of the game. I'm very
I'm very disappointed in all of that.
Podcast.